It's been laid dormant for years.
And I like what you did when you talked about the sanitation workers strike, that you actually had old newspaper clippings.
Yeah, yeah.
And so not only did you have kind of the documented version of it, but you had people's recollection of it, people who lived it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, one thing I have to say about the whole documentary is that it's real life. I mean, you kept it real. I mean,
Thank you.
You know, people talked real life about what happened. You know, some of the people said, you know, this is what happened, and you know, while I've grown up, moved on, and I'm doing this, and my family's this, you know, this is where I got my start.
Right.
And you know, you don't say anything negative about where I grew up.
Right, right.
Because you know, we have doctors and lawyers and teachers and professional people and business owners who started in Councill Court.
Right, that's right. This is the first housing project where they allow African Americans to even live.
Really? Now, how many people knew that?
That's historical within itself. This was the first place where African Americans were allowed to live if you were low income and you wanted public housing. That was Councill Court. And so that's historical, you know, but I didn't know any of this stuff until I started.
Because you were just
researching.
a kid growing up.
I was just a kid growing up, but I was soaking in stuff.
Well, we're going to take a quick break and come back and talk a little bit more, but I want people just to see a little tidbit of one of the scenes. Actually, it's the old school.
The old school,
is when there's a lady that's talking was your mother's best friend, and then Paul Bradford.
Paul Bradford, PB, we call him PB, and Renee. PB and Renee.
Okay, yeah. And they're talking a little bit about growing up in Councill Court and kind of what they're doing now. But so if you'll stay with us, back from the show after this. Hello and welcome back. We continue to talk with Antonio Howard, who is the producer of A Councill Court, A History of Love. This is what the video looks like for the case. And on the back, I didn't show the back, there's all kinds of pictures of people that are in the video. And also, I need to mention this too, there is a soundtrack that goes with the video of all kinds of neat songs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it takes you back. And if I say excited about this, it's because I truly enjoy this. It's one of those things that you can look at it a million times and pick up something different, because you know, you sort of kind of go through it once and you hear the stories, but then you go back through and you pay a little bit more attention to some of the other stories.
Yeah. It's you know, I've had people cry,
I can see that.
and I can't really describe it, but I've sat, you know, if I go to somebody's house and I show them, you know, just the other day, this lady cried right there.
Wow.
And I had a friend who's not from out there call me the day it premiered on Huntsville City Station, crying. And it touched me, you know, but, and it makes me feel a little soft.
Yeah.
But I think the message of love was conveyed to not only her, who she's from out there, but to him. He's not even from this state. Yeah. So. Well,
it's like me. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I know you, and I know, like I said, a couple other people that I recognize in here. But just, again, the message of love and neighborhood and everybody caring about everybody else. And I like the one segment where I guess some of the guys that you grew up with, and they were talking about how everybody was so close, but it didn't mean that you didn't get in fights now.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you got in fights.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, you were still brothers.
Yeah, we were brothers day in, day out, sisters and brothers.
Because it's just like blood brothers and sisters. I mean, you know, you're not going to always agree with everybody, and you're going to have your fights. But at the end of the day, you know that person has your back.
That's right. That's right.
And you settle disputes, like, you know, you may have fought one another, but you got over it and you moved on. I mean, you settled disputes and you didn't harbor these ill feelings and you know, resort to all this violence and stuff. And we've just so gotten away from that whole feeling of neighborhood and everybody taking care of everybody else.
Yeah.
And again, I think we have a lost generation because we've gotten just away from basic stuff.
Well, love is should be something that's God is love, because God is forever. Yeah. And I think, you know, love is a four-letter word, but it's probably the most powerful word in the world. And because I think people misunderstand it, they misuse it. Yeah. We do, and it's easy to misuse. Yeah, because it's easy to throw around. Yeah, and we do it all the time. But like you said about fighting, you know, we'll fight. Hey, let's go to the. We saw these people like the very next day riding the same bus, walking to school together.
Yeah, so you better make up, because you go see them all the time. Like you said, they live, even though you live in a different apartment, you all live in the same house.
The same house.
Yeah. And I like the people that the other side.
The other side.
Yeah, the other side. The people that live on the other side of the complex.
We used to have firework wars on the 4th of July. We used to whoop them too.
And I like what was that your real? That was your
That's
blood
my
sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like what she said about you were walking down the street with her and a couple other people, and she said, wait a minute. There used to be a tree here, and that was where everybody congregated.
Yeah.
And it, everybody kind of congregated, and that's kind of where you met up. You knew to meet up at that tree.
Yeah.
And then you sort of kind of divvied up depending on your age group.
Yeah.
But that's where everybody met, was at that tree.
It was several trees, but that was one of them. That was one of the main ones.
Yeah.
Like I said, that was my sister. She lived on the other side, and I had a couple of brothers that stayed in the back. Basically, all of my siblings are from out there. Yeah. Thanks to Pops.
Well, hey.
Had to throw that one in.
Well, we all have our stories.
Right.
And something else I thought was funny, and we just talked about it off camera. I want to tell people that look at this, they will see it. But your name is Antonio Jarrell Howard, and a lot of people know you as Jarrell, or Rel Jarrell is your kind of stage name.
Yeah.
But they called you Jerry Lewis in there, and I'm like, why they call you Jerry Lewis?
Call me Jerry Lewis. They've been calling me that. Marlon and my grandfather have been calling me Jerry Lewis since I was a kid. I don't know why, but I answer to it. Anytime I'm in a crowd and they say Jerry, I know who they're talking about. Yeah, they're talking about me. Jerry Lewis. So.
Well, we're gonna in just a second take a look at one of the vignettes, and it's the old school.
The old school.
Yeah. I want you to see just a little tidbit of what's on here. But if they miss seeing it on the Huntsville City Channel, which is Channel 16 here on Comcast, can they get their own copy of the video and the soundtrack? Yes,
they can reach me. Give a cell number.
Okay.
256-651-1499.
Okay.
And if you want to email me, you can email me at reljerell@msn.com.
Okay. Yeah. And they can get their own copies.
They can get their own
And I'm telling you, you're going to want a copy, whether you are from this area or not, and particularly if you didn't grow up in Councill Court, you still are going to identify with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, because it's great, and I like the way it was produced, and it's so real.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, love is universal. So
there were no scripts. It's like people just tell their story. You gave them the mic, let them tell their story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of scenes should have been some scripts, but hey.
Oh well, there you go. That's what happens when it's real.
Right.
Real can't be scripted. And with that, we're going to take a look at a segment of Councill Court: A History of Love.
How y'all doing? Still doing the documentary, Councill Court, A History of Love. And I want to speak with two of the elders from the community who I grew up under. They came up with my parents, my father, Anthony Douglas, and my mother, Ruby Howard. I'm speaking today with Mr. P.D. Bradford and Miss Renee Leslie. And I've been knowing them for a long time. And I just wanted to speak with them today about some of their experiences, about some of their feelings that they have about Councill Court and how they feel about today. So, Renee, if you could just tell us a little bit, what are some of your memories that you have about Councill Court?
I have so many, but let me clarify something. We're not elders. We're just older than he is.
That's my fault. That's my fault.
No, I'm teasing. Actually, I remember when Jarrell was born, so
okay.
I can't be called his elder. I just wanted to say that. But we have so many memories about Councill Court. His mother and I were best friends growing up, and we're still best friends today, but we were best friends growing up, so we pretty much did any and everything together. We played right here in this field forever right here in the community center. I hope you guys get a little bit of information about the community center because it was our stomping ground. It was probably one of the places that kept us from being in all the trouble that we could have been if we had been hanging on the streets. But